Hello, arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Today we're doing my 59th Chillin' Chat live on a Sunday evening. We're talking home arcade like we do every Sunday evening. We're getting back on track. This is our second week in a row. We had PD7. We were supposed to have bad guy Mike Worley on last week. He couldn't make it. He was out sick. So we got Nerd Lounge Master 84 to fill in. Had a really good panel. Had a great show last week. This week, we're going to go back to our solo stream where it's just me talking tonight, and we're going to dive deep into some subjects. Also get the audience involved. Anyone who has anything they want to say, I want to bring it up on the screen and get that discussion going. That's the one thing about having the guest is the audience just isn't as into the show, or they're not, the chats aren't being brought up on the show as much when we have guests. So every other week, I'll do a solo show like I'm doing tonight just to get you guys more involved. Let's first say hi to everyone who's in the chat. I saw Gotham City Arcade was chatting early today, right when I'd posted this. And he had said, "What's up, brother? Did you happen to check out the podcast with James Hates Everything? What are your thoughts on his timeline for 2024, 2025? And I did watch that stream. I actually went back and rewatched it again today after Gotham City had brought this up, because I thought what James Hates Everything was presenting in that stream was very interesting. He had a slide that he had created, basically kind of giving speculation on what he thinks is going to happen over the rest of this year and 2025. And he had some really good ideas on possible cabinets that could be coming. One of those that he had said may come next is Street Fighter 3 Deluxe. And I definitely think that's very high on Arcade 1-Up's list. Also very high on our list as the community on what we want to see. So I think that one's very likely to happen. He had also discussed track and field, and then there were some XLs in there. He had talked about like a Golden Tee XL, a Tron XL. Not sure, that's pretty far off speculation on those. But, the Street Fighter 3, the track and field, I definitely think those are very close and are very likely to happen. So we'll get into that discussion tonight as well. And I'll give you my opinions on some of this stuff. King Ed AV. I'm sorry, I butchered your name there, King Ed AV. He said, Biggie, one day, I will own a Robotron arcade cabinet again, hoping At Games does a Robotron skin on one of their new 4K ALU units. Yeah, absolutely. If we could get different skins on the, we're going to talk about this new 4K ALU that's about to come towards the end of this year. And I think one common thing we're seeing in the community, and one common thing we all agree on, is the artwork is just, needs a lot of work. And one thing that they could do to kind of please everyone is to offer different skins. Rather than making us get Killer Instinct, why not Battletoads? Or maybe let's throw in some other games, get some other licenses. For instance, Robotron plays excellent on the ALU. Let's do that. So those are possibilities. Right now, all we know is Killer Instinct for the ALU 4K, and we'll get into that as well. Addicted to Arcade 1-Up is saying, what's happening all? Good to see you, Addicted to Arcade 1-Up. I came across your channel just a couple weeks ago with the track and field speculation you had and the information on that. And I've been following your shorts and your videos since then, and really like your content. If you guys ever go check out Addicted to Arcade 1-Up, he's got a lot of really good especially Arcade 1-Up, but all home arcade type content. The Rexer Show, he's saying, I could only go live at the same time as Biggie. Sorry about that. I'll be quick though, 30 minutes tops. I already know that, Rexer has a short show. He's in and out. He always says that. He just wants to get in, get out. And that way people stay watching the full 30 minutes or the full 45 minutes. And, so I definitely think he'll be ending well before I end this stream. So anyone who's over there watching, definitely join us here when that ends. And I'll go rewatch Rexer after this. Jason says, hope you're well, Biggie D's Arcade. Catch you tonight. Yeah, hopefully you're here, Jason. It looks like I see you in the chat already. So good to see you here. Carl O saying, Star Trek Cab is growing on me. PK should offer an owner's discount to get a second one. So that'd be great. You get your first one and then they offer you a sizable discount for the second one. And that you may be on to something, Carlo, because there's a lot of people out there I already see that are interested in owning multiple 4K pinballs because of all the different skins. Also, those are going to have unique loading screens and menus to them. So there is a reason to get a second or third 4K pinball possibly. And these are very expensive. You know, offering a discount to those customers that have already bought, trying to get a second or third one, that would be a really good idea. Carlos saying here, I don't think that there's too much to ask, Jason. Jason says, I'll come in handy for my Twilight Zone and Creature cabs. There's Addicted Arcade went up. He says, hey, I made it to one show on time at least. Good to see you. Brooklyn Menace is here with his emojis. Good to see you, Brooklyn, in the chat. Thumper Squid's here as well. He says, hello, wonderful gamers. He's also saying hi to Addicted Arcade went up. I also saw Thumper Squid was at the Midwest Gaming Classic this weekend. Very cool to see PD7, James Hates Everything, Thumper Squid, and I think there was one other that had made it from our community as well. You guys can maybe remind me in the chat. But it was really good to see representation of the community at that event. I know there was a lot of buildup to that. I know Travis was really pushing for that. There were others, content creators that were pushing people to go, and a lot of people ended up not making it, but it was good to see that we had some there. And PD7's video was great. Quarter Deck Arcade. I'd watched his stream earlier today. He was there as well. You guys are in that Milwaukee area and you're interested in what happened at the Midwest Gaming Classic, go check out those content creators and see what happened. Lethal Wolf is saying, hi, guys. John E. Blaze is saying, good evening, guys. Good to see you, John E. Blaze. Marine 50, good evening programs. Andy's Game Room, good evening, everyone. Papa Brad's Gaming is here. Hello, gamers. So we've got a packed house tonight, even with multiple streams going. We've got a lot of people here already ready to tune in and listen to this home arcade live stream tonight. So I appreciate you guys out there watching. Let's get into our subjects now and let's dive deep into this stuff. So I'm a numbers person. I really like looking at these numbers and these analytics and trying to decipher what is Arcade 1UP going to do? What is their next step? What is their plan for the rest of this year? And one common thing I tend to do every few months is I'll post a poll to kind of get a gauge of our community and what we're interested in, what we want to see next. And there's been 4 cabinets that we've been talking about a lot lately, especially track and field, that have been continuously brought up as possible cabinets that could come this year, possibly towards the end of this year. And those were track and field, Alien versus Predator, Robotron 2084, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I voted for Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and early on this poll, it was leading. And then about maybe 3 or 4 hours after I'd posted it, Robotron started taking the lead. And then it was there was no way Street Fighter 3 could catch up. It just, Robotron took the lead, and it continuously had the most votes until today. And it's been the strongest of the 4 with 39% of the vote. So if you have 10 people in a room, 4 of those 10 people are going to want Robotron. So that is the leading candidate. That is the most sought after cabinet that people want to see get made. Track and field was the lowest at 13%. Alien versus Predator, 17%. Street Fighter 3 was a close second, but still pretty far off, with a full 8% less at 31%. So, it's not even close. I mean, Robotron 2084 is for sure the winner in this poll, by a very large margin. And I think this poll speaks for itself. There were 135 votes whenever I pulled this poll earlier this afternoon, and that's a pretty good gauge. That's a pretty good pool of potential customers right there, 135, to make a judgment call on this, on what you think should be the next cabinet that, if you were part of Arcade 1UP and you were trying to think this out, which one should we make next? This poll should tell you right there and should give you all the data that you need. Because the people that watch this channel, people that watch a lot of this home arcade community, are the customers that buy a lot of your product and are probably going to be the most likely to buy your next product. So this is a great poll, really good data, 135 votes. I was looking too at some other data. You know, we were talking last week with PD7, and we were talking about the X-Men 97 cabinet, the one that is going to be releasing on April 25th here in just a couple of weeks. And PD7 had said that there were already 900 plus units sold or pre-ordered already. And that was a good number. That was a number that Arcade 1UP was confident in making this cabinet and making it a success if they had pre-ordered 900 of these. So if we look at this poll, there's 135 people. So that would be like, so there's 135 people. There's what, like 50 people that want Robotron 2084 just in this poll alone. So, that's not the exact math, but just off the top of my head, around 50 people just in this poll alone want to see Robotron 2084 get made. So, you know, this shouldn't be difficult for them. This should not be something that, this year is about low risk, high reward. And I think the Robotron 2084 definitely fits that bill. No doubt about it. So let's take a look at this cabinet a little bit. And let's kind of talk about what this cabinet could look like if they were to end up releasing this. There was a lot of people wanting Smash TV. Total Carnage is very popular. Those are probably going to be the two other games that are included on this cabinet. And many had thought we wanted to see Smash TV over Robotron 2084. I think lately I'm seeing more Robotron 2084 over the Smash TV skin. So I think the right call and the right move for Arcade 1UP would be to just skip the Smash TV skin altogether. Just do a Robotron skin. Go for those classic, arcade enthusiasts that want a classic arcade game that has like just a classic look to it, has those leaderboards, and you'll be fine with that. I think that is their best decision right there. It's just instead of doing multiple skins, just do one skin of Robotron and include your Smash TV and include the other game on there as well. So a total of 3 games. And now this would be a deluxe. This would be a deluxe form factor, so no riser. They could use this existing coin door that they already have, but it would have to be a different mold. It wouldn't be an exact, like they couldn't reuse the Midway mold. They couldn't reuse the HS5 Dynamo design mold. They would have to create an entirely new one for this. So this would definitely incur some development cost when they make this. But you would want to see a completely new mold. A good distribution of light throughout the entire marquee, a good looking marquee like what we were seeing on the Street Fighter cabinet. Some quality joysticks. Now another thing is, what type of joysticks would you put in this? Could you put in the 360 joysticks that we got with the Blitz cabinet? Could they reutilize that existing technology, things that they've already invested a lot of development cost in, and reutilize that same part in the Robotron and give us some good quality joysticks for these twin stick shooters? So you guys let me know out there, what do you want to see next? If it is Robotron 2084, what do they have to do in order to make it successful? Brooklyn says, my intro is longer than Rexer's entire show. That is true. Brent Metz is here. He's saying, hey guys. And Marine 50 saying, thank you, Jason. Good to see you as well. Jason here, Robotron just hit 40%. So that's a good number right there. That's a strong, solid number 1 at 40%. Thumper Squid is saying, I'm all in for Robotron 2084. Instant buy for me. Thumper Squid says, I hope Buy Stuff Arcade makes a 19-inch with bezel for Robotron, or make a Robotron XL. That's a very good point, Thumper, is, are they going to do an XL on their, if they're doing re-releases, right? They're re-releasing the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. They're re-releasing the Golden Tee. This would be an entirely new cabinet, one they've never done before. Are they going to make that decision to do an XL for the first time ever for their first new product? Or are they going to go with what they've done in the past, which would be a deluxe form factor, make sure that's successful first, then do the XL? I think that's the more likely scenario, is they start with the deluxe, something smaller, something more manageable, make sure that's successful. Once that is, then you go for the XL, the 19-inch screen, the bigger form factor. I think that's the right call. But I think, if they were to go XL, that would please a lot of people. That would be, something really good for a lot of people that want that XL. So maybe the right call and the right answer to this question is do the deluxe and the XL at the same time and give people the option of the two. I think that, if you're not going to do the deluxe and then the XL, just offer them both at the same time. I think that would probably be the best decision. Andy's Game Room says pretty good. He's doing pretty good today. Jason's saying, Thumper Squid, don't see why they wouldn't. They're going to make 19-inch available for a whole lot of cabinets. So if they're sourcing a bunch of 19-inch monitors because their plan is to make a bunch of XLs this year or early next year, maybe it is less expensive or more efficient, cost effective for them to put in those 19-inch into their newer cabinets, their brand new cabinets that they've never released before, and just go straight XL starting out. That's a good theory as well. King Ed AV says, used to own the original cabinet in the 80s and he wants it back. Yeah, I think this is a special cabinet, and it's a special type of game that you can't really replicate or find out there in other games or other arcades. It's something special with this one. And I think that gives it even more reason why Arcade 1UP should pick this one for their next release, their next new release. Thumper Squid says, I would still get Robotron in the Midway mold. So Thumper would, if they did that Midway mold, which we've seen them using that form a lot, Thumper's saying he would be okay with that if it was Robotron. Jason's saying 49-way joysticks would be interesting. So yeah, that 360 joystick I was talking about on the Blitz, that's the 49-way. Thanks for reminding me on that. Marine 50 is saying, I had a friend's father who rented video games and port potties. He did have enough room in his garage for all the cabs. So we would rotate with Tempest and Robotron in my garage and one or two more. Those are great. Robotron, Tempest, classic arcade games. Excellent ones to play. And King Ed saying XL all the way. Carlo is saying definitely needs to be an XL. So I think everyone is happy with Robotron being their next cabinet if this was the one that they were to choose to make next. But then there's a lot of questions that come up. Do we want an XL? Do we want a deluxe? What kind of controls are we going to get? What form factor are we going to get for this cabinet? There's still so many questions that would come up. And we still don't know if Robotron's going to be the next cabinet. In fact, we don't know if any of these four are going to be the next cabinet. This is all speculation, and this speculation is based on discussions and a lot of things I'm hearing in the community. Track and field makes a lot of sense because we have the Olympics coming up this year. Aliens versus Predator, Alien versus Predator makes a lot of sense because there's that Fox, and Fox is owned by Disney, and Disney seems to have a pretty good relationship with Arcade 1UP. So that one's very well possible. Robotron 2084, obviously we've got a lot of talk and we've got a lot of backing for that cabinet, proven by the poll. And then a Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, it just seems like that would be like the perfect cabinet to make next because the success of Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2's always been Arcade 1UP's baby, It's always gotten the best treatment by their company. It would only make sense for them to continue that into Street Fighter 3 and Third Strike. David G's here. He's saying, I would definitely buy one XL or Deluxe. It wouldn't matter if it was an XL or Deluxe. David's going to get it either way. He wants Robotron. Nicholas D'Oreo. Hopefully I said that. D'Oreo. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Anyone expecting a ton of action on the Arcade 1-Up XL front is setting themselves up for disappointment. Every sign this company has given us says that it's not happening at a rate of more than 1 or 2 PY. So that's true. I mean, you're setting expectations, Nicholas, with this comment, and I definitely agree with it 100%, is that we shouldn't expect, any one of these 4 cabinets to get made this year. Realistically, we got to look at it from a realistic perspective. Okay, guys? And that's how I had started this poll off. 2024 has been a very slow year for Arcade 1-Up. And that's so true. It's a very slow year for them. And all we've seen is MVC2 with different artwork and no riser. And we've seen Golden Tee with no riser. That's all we've seen in 2023. And that's what we expected, was a lot of re-releases and new form factors in the deluxe form factor. I mean, we've been saying that for months leading up to the announcement of these 2 cabinets. So that was very easy to see happen. Now, predicting any new cabinets is very difficult to understand and try to figure out because of their financial situation, their motto for this year. It's very well likely, and I would probably give it about a 50-50 shot, 50-50 chance that we don't get any new cabinets this year, meaning nothing new that isn't a re-release. And I said this several months ago to you guys on a stream, and I got a lot of slack for it. I'd really gotten a lot of criticism for it, but I'd said that Arcade 1-Up was not going to make any new cabinets this year except for re-releases utilizing their existing PCB and games list that they already have, because those would be very low development cost releases. And that is their plan for this year, to reuse the PCB that they have in the cabinets that we already own, putting those PCBs in other form factors or potentially the same cabinet design but different artwork. Or if it was never released in a deluxe, it was only released with the riser, expected to be released in the deluxe. And I think that's still the strongest bet to be made. Like, if you're putting money on what's going to happen this year, that's still the strongest bet right there. But there is a lot of that creeping in right now, getting towards the midpoint of 2024, that people want to see something new. And we're almost begging Arcade 1-Up to release something new. And people are more than willing to share their opinions publicly on what they want, because they know Arcade 1-Up uses that, and that's data that they use to make these cabinets. So that's why these polls like this that I took are so not just fun for us to take and fun for us to talk about, but it's really good, useful information for Arcade 1-Up to kind of guide them and to point them in the right direction for the rest of this year. Jason's saying they announced Spectate in December. They don't even have that out yet. So that, again, we went over this last week with PD7, and we had talked about the Spectate mode on Mortal Kombat and how they had advertised this as a release of early 2024. And that was when we were hearing a lot from Travis, and Travis was part of the public, he's a public figure for Arcade 1-Up. But since then, Travis, we haven't heard or seen much from him at all since then, and we haven't heard anything about Spectate. So what does that tell you? Probably tells us, it's probably not going to happen, or it's been delayed. But we could be surprised. I want to be hopeful, and I want to be surprised, maybe next week we get it. We just don't know. But our gut and what we're seeing is telling us it's either delayed or canceled now. Thumper Squid is saying slow year is okay. I get to save some money then. And yeah, there's a lot of positives with this slow year, not just for Arcade 1-Up because they can reassess and reevaluate themselves, but it's good for us as customers because we can enjoy spending time playing the arcades we already have, that we've already built up, and just enjoy that and share that with the rest of the community. But also the money, you know, we get to put our money in the bank. We don't have to spend it and just play what we've already bought. Got a ton of arcades out there to choose from, to already out there we could buy, or ones that we've already bought. Jason's saying, actually, it's now 15 months since the MK announcement. Now that's it, April. So yeah, they had said early 2024. We're pretty much out of early 2024 at this point. I would say the end of March would have been the end of early 2024. So it is already delayed, but we'd like to get some communication from Arcade One Up on what's going on with that. You know, let us know, because you had told us in that video early 2024, we'd like a response on why that didn't happen. Nicholas is saying it feels like it's a no-brainer to produce the Golden Gooses, MK2 XL, Street Fighter 2 XL, Miss Pac-Man XL. It's concerning there are no real rumors about these. And yeah, and we still haven't gotten an XL this year. You know, we got the Golden Tee announcement. We've gotten the X-Men 97 announcement, but neither of those were XLs. So are we going to get a new XL this year? This was supposedly supposed to be the year of XLs. PD7's in the chat. Good to see you, PD7. He's saying, hit that like button, guys. Definitely hit the like button. Jason's saying, imagine how many Defender XLs they'd sell with Party Cake control scheme and game selections. No MK plus Gorf and Sinistar. That would be a good one. Defender XL was the one cabinet that John D constantly pushed for, but never got made. A Defender XL with proper controls. That was what he wanted. Addicted Arcade One Up says, not only did they promise spectate, but they also promised a championship tournament, and not a worried about that is to be heard. So now the championship tournament, I know they did some of them. They did the Killer Instinct. They may have done like the Street Fighter versus X-Men versus Street Fighter. But I didn't watch all those, so I can't really speak to how long that lasted or if they ever finished. But I know that there was tournaments going on there for a period of time. And I think Travis, he was really pushing people to watch those tournaments because they were going to take that and see how successful spectate would be. If a lot of people didn't watch the tournaments, it was going to be less likely that they were going to do the spectate mode. If the tournaments were successful, it was more likely they were going to do the spectate mode. So if we can get to the bottom of, were the tournaments a success? Did Arcade One Up see those as a success? That would kind of tell us if the spectate's going to get made or not. So Robotron 2084, guys, hopefully, you know, it looks like the original. Hopefully it looks a lot like this, what we're seeing in this image. And hopefully they make it right if they choose to do this one. But we'll have to wait and see. Always fun to speculate, though, talk about these things, and get your input out there on what you would like to see. So just a couple of things here I want to go over here on the Arcade One Up website before we move on. Is just a couple of cabinets that we talked about last week, but just kind of get a visual out here on the screen for us to look at. So this is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 X-Men 97 edition deluxe arcade cabinet. It is available for pre-order for $4.99. They only have a direct link to the Amazon website to do that pre-order. You go there, it is still available, and it will be released on April the 25th. So we are April 7th now. We're just less than a few weeks away now from this releasing. Am I going to get this cabinet? Probably not. I want a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. I'm just not sold on the online capabilities of this yet until I see them improve the online or invest in improving the online, whether that be Mortal Kombat or any other game. I'm probably not likely to go out and run out and get this cabinet. But if I saw some positive things coming out of like the spectate on Mortal Kombat And I thought that there was a high possibility that they could improve the online for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Then I would most definitely be more interested. The other one we looked at last week was the Golden Tee XL. So another thing I've added to this, guys, is when we have guests, I'm going to go ahead and put the media for those live streams on the website, and it'll get unlocked after the live stream. So if you guys ever want to go back and look at this stuff, you're more than welcome to. But this is a look at the Golden Tee XL. It's essentially, or the Golden Tee Deluxe, I'm sorry. I said Golden Tee XL because it looks just like the XL. I mean, it's almost identical to the XL in the fact that it's just a little bit smaller, and that's why it's the Deluxe. Has the 17-inch screen, and then the size is a little bit smaller. Now, we had saw Wayfair, it had it for $599.99, but this week we got some news, and I think this came out of Addicted to Arcade 1UP. I saw his video this week where he had found, he's been bringing us some really great information, guys. You should tune into him when you get a chance. But he had found that Nebraska Furniture Mart has this cabinet for $499. So if you live around a Nebraska Furniture Mart, then that will be the way to go because it'll save you $100. Now, I used to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we had a Nebraska Furniture Mart in the Colony before I had moved out of there. We don't have them here in Phoenix. So for me, if I was to buy it from Nebraska Furniture Mart at $499, I'm going to have to pay like $100, $120 in shipping. It ends up not saving me any money. So depending on where you're located, Nebraska Furniture Mart may be the store for you, or it may not. May have to go through Wayfair and pay the $5.99. But like me, I try to save money on everything I can, especially when I'm buying something I don't have to have, something like this. I'm going to negotiate and try to get a better deal. I would call Wayfair. I would show them the listing on Nebraska Furniture Mart, and I would see if they could match the price and then get the free shipping through them. I've worked with Wayfair before on furniture, and they were actually very easy to work with over the phone. Their customer service is actually very good. But this is your games list. Again, same games list, same PCB as what we were getting in the XL and the Classic. So nothing new. It is an entirely re-release just in the Deluxe form factor. So those are the only two new ones we have coming out, or that we know are coming out for a fact. Kind of the reason we know now to the Deluxe, and I don't think we had this information last week, but the reason we know that the Deluxe is coming is Bill's Retro Show put out a video this week saying that the FCC filing is complete for that Golden Tee 3D Deluxe. So it is for sure going to come out. It wasn't like a leak and then they pulled it because it wasn't going to actually happen. This is for sure going to be released here soon. I'd probably say within the next 30 to 60 days, it'll start to ship. Thumper Squid is saying, I would get my wallet out for Gorf. Gorf would be an excellent one. Thumper Squid saying if it was $2.99, he'd pre-order. Addicted to Arcade 1UP is saying they go through spells where they do offer free shipping, just not sure if it's national shipping, talking about Nebraska Furniture Mart. Addicted to Arcade 1UP says, I think it'll be available through multiple retailers. Yeah, I think so too. Golden Tee is one of those, you know, it's PGA golf, you know, it's going to be work appropriate. This was kind of a discussion I was having with PD7 this week, is in something that had come up, you know, on my mind this week was at our company, we had bought NFL Blitz for our break room, and we had the choice of all the Arcade 1UPs on the Dell website, but we were realizing a lot of the Arcade 1UPs aren't work appropriate, like Killer Instinct, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. A lot of these aren't work appropriate cabinets. Golden Tee is. I think that also makes it more likely to be at more retailers. And then also just bringing that point up that when you make these cabinets like this that are considered work appropriate, you're not just selling to the consumer like us, individuals who are buying them for their home. You're possibly selling these to bars or to restaurants or to companies that put them in their break rooms. So there's a lot of other business to be made on some of these types of cabinets that appeal to not just what we want in our homes, but what we may want in like public places as well. Marine 50 is saying now if they added a curling game, that would help sell it a lot up north and in Canada. Yeah, that's a great point, Marine 50. Think about too, we've got NBA Jam, we've got NFL Blitz. Imagine an NHL hockey game. I know Midway made one. Imagine that. There's a lot of business to be made up north and in Canada from hockey. Addicted to Arcade 1-Up says Nebraska Furniture Mart website says it will be in stock on April 12th. I don't know how much credit I give that, but that is what they say on the website. And I remember you saying that in your video, April 12th. It just doesn't seem likely that it's going to come that quick. It's not even on the Arcade 1-Up website as of today. So I just don't see how that's possible. But you never know. April 12th. I mean, that's next week. But you're still seeing here under the coming soon, it's not listed. So I just don't think that's going to happen that quick. But who knows? We could go based on their website. It would be next week. All right, guys, let's transition. We're going to go into now a new subject. We are going to talk about At Games 4K. So this was a subject that we've been talking a lot about on this channel for several months since Cleveland Gaming Classic is when it was initially announced. And then over these months, we've gotten the announcements of all the licenses that they've acquired, all the different skins. Now a lot of these products are starting to ship or have already shipped. And there's just a ton of news on the At Games front right now. Thumper Squid says, I wish Nebraska Furniture Mart delivered to my area. Tried to get a Tempest from them when it was on clearance. Yeah, I remember Nebraska Furniture Mart when I lived in Dallas, but Arcade 1-Up wasn't that popular yet, and they weren't carrying them there yet. Carlo saying, I asked Cyrus to make a Target Toss, a Silver Strike, and a Power Putt XL a year ago. That would be awesome if they could make those. All right, so let's take a look here. These are some of the images that are coming out of the At Games Reddit group this week. These are where I got these images off the At Games Reddit group. And normally I'll put the person's name and all that. I didn't get a chance today. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to do all that. But I did want to let you guys know if you want to see these where they were found, At Games Reddit. But Attack from Mars. So interesting enough, we have all these different cabinet or all these different skins from At Games. And I want to pull this up for you guys here because something interesting happened this week. So the first one was the Addams Family. Then they announced the Snoopy Peanuts. And around that same time, they announced Dinosaur Dynasty. Then they had announced Star Trek. And then last was Attack from Mars. However, we're noticing that the Attack from Mars is getting received before Star Trek. So that's kind of baffling. Is why is this one getting delivered before Star Trek, being that Star Trek was announced first? There's a lot of speculation on that there were some licensing issues with Paramount possibly on Star Trek. Also, we'll look at Star Trek here towards the end of these slides, and you'll see they did make some changes to some of the artwork. So maybe that delayed it some. That I think is the most obvious reason. But there may be other reasons as well we just don't know about. But Attack from Mars is now getting received. There are people that in the last 4 or 5 days have received their Attack from Mars. This is what it looks like. It looks absolutely amazing. It's definitely got by far the best looking topper. Where you see on the outside where those ships and those arms and the head of that alien are coming out, that's just really well done. Those cutouts are just perfect in the way that they look. And it really stands out. Also, we've got fully recreated authentic artwork on the sides of the back box and on the sides of the cabinet and on the front. So it does now look and appear like a real pinball machine in your home when you have this real artwork. And this is the only one of these 5 that they utilize the official real artwork. So we didn't get to see this until this week. When you see a render, it doesn't really do it justice. When you see a picture of the actual product itself, it just really shows you how much better it looks. Now, there's a couple of things I'm not quite liking as much. From these angles, it kind of looks like the screen is a little washed out. I'm having just some thoughts and some gut feelings that maybe this Attack from Mars isn't fully ready yet, that there's still like some updates that are needed and some things they need to improve on the visuals for Attack from Mars. I've been hearing already early on from some of the customers that purchased that they're having problems running Attack from Mars with the visuals running. They'll have to turn the visuals off and then it seems to run okay. So again, we're having like what happened with the Addams Family, issues with these games, and it's going to require some fixes and some updates. So not sure why they had rushed this one out before Star Trek, knowing that you would think that they would have held it back a little bit longer. But, as a company, you probably want to get this stuff out the door and get it into people's homes so they can start buying the pinball tables, because that's where you're going to make your money. They probably just can't sit on this stuff because it requires an update. So a lot of discussion, a lot of things we're going to be talking about here over the next few weeks as these are releasing. And we'll learn more and more about how good the software is, how good this game plays. Something else I found interesting is that the Attack from Mars is available on the Attack from Mars cabinet. But let's say you own the Addams Family or you own the Snoopy, you cannot buy or play Attack from Mars. Maybe you can buy Attack from Mars right now, but you cannot play it. Or it may be you can't even buy it right now. So the only people that are playing Attack from Mars on a 4K at Games Pinball are the Attack from Mars customers. That's it. So that makes it, I think, less likely we're going to see an update fixing a lot of this stuff very soon. Because it's not even officially, the game's not even officially released yet to the entire customer base. Carlos saying arcade 1-ups are just too small unless they are XLs. An ALU on a riser dwarfs any arcade 1-up cab. Absolutely it does. JR's here. He's saying, hey, Biggie D, good to see you, JR, in the chat. Thumper Squid saying Joust and BB in the background. Oh, Big Buck Hunter and Joust. Yeah, you can see just how much smaller those cabinets look in comparison to this 4K pinball with that topper. I mean, this thing is huge. It's the size of a real pinball with the topper. Carlos saying it's mainly 4 tables or Star Trek that need to be fleshed out versus 1 on the Attack from Mars. That's a good point. They're just working on 1 table here as opposed to 4 on the Star Trek. And Thumper Squid says he wishes the Pinball FX was on the ALP 4K from At Games. He wishes the Pinball FX was on the ALP 4K from At Games. Okay, Pinball FX. Yeah, the full list of Pinball FX games were available, I think is what you're saying there. Addicted from Arcade 1-Up says, I would consider one if I could see it in person first, but not until they fix all these bugs. I think I'm a little closer than you are addicted to Arcade 1-Up. I'm a little closer to purchasing one of these than I think you are right now. Like, I'm very close. And I kind of like just want to go buy it right now. Like, I've had some urges this week to just go ahead and just pay full price. But we're going to get into a slide here in just a moment on why I'm waiting still. But this is something I'm going to buy here very soon. I just can't wait any longer. Here is the Attack from Mars from a different side. This was a different image from a different person. And you can see here how well it looks from the right side. And there's an iArcade there to the right of it to kind of give you a comparison of size. So you see where the game deck is on the iArcade is about the same height as what the screen is going to be on the 4K. JJ's here. He's saying, what would the price with the topper, taxes of 8 to 10% and shipping cost in total? So if you go without the SSF kit, JJ, it'd be $1,500 plus shipping. Now, I don't know about tax. I don't know if they charge tax or not. I would assume they charge tax, but some of these online purchases, direct to consumer, don't always have tax depending on what state you're in. So that's, I think, going to be a question for each person where they live. I haven't actually gone into, for Arizona, to do the checkout to see if they're going to charge me tax here or not. But we can do the calculations on that. But you're looking about $1,600 plus tax. If you want to get the SSF kit, you're going to look at another $500. I think that's pre-installed. So $2,000 plus $100 shipping if you want the SSF kit pre-installed. Carlo is saying Attack from Mars does look fantastic, and apparently the table plays well. So the table plays well, but I've heard some things about it that don't play well, like the animations. Maybe you know more than me, though, on that, Carl, and maybe people are overblowing, the faults of this game and that, the bugs and things like that. Thumper Squid is saying, if anyone can beat the FOMO, it's Biggie D. Yeah, I'm fighting the FOMO right now, big time, guys. And my goal is just not to pay full price. If they could just give me any discount, it's going to put me over and make me buy it. Ritual Dello's here. He's saying, hey, all, good to see you, Ritual Dello. Chris C's here. He's saying the SSF kit is a major, major upgrade on the 4KP. And Carlos saying, I never pay tax for at-game stuff. So that may be your answer. He's in PA, and they always collect taxes. So they don't charge tax is what we're hearing, guys. Tony C confirmed it as well. So no tax. So you're looking at $1,500 plus $100 shipping, or $2,000 plus $100 shipping. And we can take a look at that right here. So right here, guys, $14.99, and then SSF kit pre-installed. And then we know that there is a $100 shipping cost. And I don't know if it says it here. Oh, here it is. US to the lower 48 is 100. So if you guys are trying to get shipping outside of the lower 48, it may be available at a higher cost. I don't know. But that's a good image. So these two look really good. Left, right side. Here's one straight on. The screen's not looking as washed out. It looks really washed out there. Doesn't look so bad there. This is a different guy taking these pictures. He might have had a better camera. And then straight on. Do you see the black bars on the back box on the left and right side? I wonder if they're going to be able to fix that. Also, the ships on the speakers, I'm not a huge fan of those. I may actually, if I was to get Attack from Mars, take those off and find some different ones. I really like the Bally Williams speaker grills. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those. A lot of people have been putting them on the Attack from Mars arcade one up. Let me show one of those to you, so if you've never seen them. I'm just trying to find these on the fly here for you guys. See if I can find one. Oh, here's some. This is a good picture right here. There we go. So this is what these are some that these don't look as good as some of the others that I've seen, but I think this looks more authentic to have the Williams logo on the speaker. Now, they may have had their hands tied at games. Williams may have prevented them from doing that, and that's why we got the spaceships. But I'm sure that's an easy mod. That's something, we can all do on our own pretty easily. Just unscrew the old ones, put the new ones in, fix that real quick. Another thing is the logos. And I watch T. McCloskey and Papa Brad's Gaming. They have the Arcade Talk and Star Wars review streams on Thursdays and Saturdays. I like listening to them because they talk a lot about the at game stuff. And they had brought this up last night, but the Attack from Mars logo on the back box, and then the Attack from Mars right above it on the bezel. So you're getting a double right there. And some people aren't liking that. And I can kind of agree with most on that. You know, it wouldn't prevent me from buying it, but it would bother me a little bit. I think, though, that would be something, again, easy that you could mod and change on your own, because it is just black up there. So, you know, there is possibly a replacement bezel or something we can buy to fix that later on. Or, you know, some people have gone as far as, I probably wouldn't do this, be a little bit of an eyesore. Some people are saying, you know, you could just put like a black sticker over it or something. So, you know, there's different options for that if you don't like the look of the doubled up Attack from Mars logos on the top there on the back box. Brent Metz is saying, I'm going to wait for another skin. If they don't have a good one by the end of the year, then hoping Sam's Club will get the Attack from Mars in stock. That would be nice. I think everyone would like to see these at retail. That's always good for the consumer when we see it at retail, because it gives us more options. It also, you know, right now, At Games has kind of of course, it's their own product. They have a monopoly on their own product right now, being that you can only buy it from their store on their website. So they kind of determine the price. But if they're at retail and Sam's lowers the price a little bit, that kind of incentivizes At Games to run a little bit better sales and kind of compete with that. So hopefully that ends up happening. I would like to see Sam's get that that product. Chris C is saying SSF, well worth it. I think so. For me, I probably right out the gate won't get the SSF because it's so much money already. And I'm okay installing that on my own. So I'll probably do that on my own later. That's kind of why I like buying the arcade one-ups from Walmart without the riser, because I end up buying the riser later, end up buying the marquee later, can buy the coin door later. Kind of the same thing with this. You just get what you have to have up front and then get your extra stuff later. Chaotic BPR, he's saying, from what I understand, they factor taxes into the final price. So we're getting conflicting reports here. We have some saying no tax. Chaotic, he just bought Attack from Mars, I believe, so he would know. He's saying that he did have to pay tax. So this could be, you know, individual. It could be up to where you live. You know, if you live in Georgia, you may get charged tax. We just don't know, because you would have to be in that state, put that address in, and it would tell you. Or they would tell you when they bill you, I guess. You wouldn't actually know until you receive the bill from At Games. Hollywood Polo is saying, Biggie D's Arcade, how's your night going? Have grabbed the excellent console games dropping on PAX Discord this weekend to add to your Biggie-cade. So weekend's been going great. Been getting fantastic weather here. Just hanging out, enjoying the weather. Relaxing on my weekend off. I played some arcade games last night live for a little bit, for about 45 minutes. And then also when I haven't been live streaming or working on preparing this live stream, I've been playing my arcades. I've actually been playing a lot of arcades lately. Just been really in the mood to do that. And, you know, I spend a lot of time doing the content creation. So lately I've just been enjoying letting loose and enjoying these products rather than just talking about them. Thumper Squid is iArcade, saying iArcade. Jason saying they are an original aspect ratio on the Zen tables. If you want them filling the screen, there is an option for that in the settings. Okay. If you want to change that, you can change that aspect on the back box in the settings to fill the screen, is what I believe he's saying there. Oh, also, Polo, on the PAX Discord, I'm not on Discord, so I've always stayed off of Discord just because I try to limit my social media. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and that's about it for social media. I don't have any other. I don't have Instagram, Twitter, none of that stuff. Just try to limit, you know, what I consume as far as social media, because it can get overwhelming. But I know there's a ton of us in the community that are on these Discords, and I know a lot of you guys meet up there and talk and plan things out. So I just try to get that through you guys when I talk to you guys outside of Discord. Jason saying original back glasses were square and not wide. That makes a lot of sense. You want the real aspect ratio, then you're going to get the bars on the side. All right, so this is Attack from Mars. Now, surprisingly, we got another one this week. I did not expect this to happen. I actually didn't even know there were that many people pre-ordering these, but evidently there are, because here's one of them we saw on the Reddit group this week is Dinosaur Dynasty. Now, the topper on Dinosaur Dynasty, we're finally seeing an image of what it looks like now. And I do like the cutouts at the top where the heads are, and it looks like maybe that's a mountain or a volcano behind that. I like that. But on the left and the right side, where it just completely chops it off and it goes straight down on the left and right side there, I do not like that. I think that's an eyesore. Again, we're getting the Dinosaur Dynasty logo, and then we're getting it again on the back box. So they've doubled down, and they've done that twice now on 2 different cabinets we can see. The slashes on the speakers, you know, for me, I would probably go out and get like some Jurassic Park speaker grills on my personally, or maybe just some dinosaur ones. I don't know if the slashes do it for me. Everything else looks okay. Unfortunately, on this image, we can't see the left and right side, but we know what that looks like from the website. Let me get that image up for you guys here. So this is the way it's going to look on the left and right side. And I used to know my dinosaurs really well when I was a kid. It's a T-Rex, and is that a Triceratops? I cannot tell you what that second dinosaur is, and I feel like I should know this because I used to be really big into dinosaurs as a kid. And I still love Jurassic Park, but I don't read about them or learn about them like we did in school. So I can't tell you which one that is. But this is, I mean, it looks good. Everyone likes dinosaurs. Especially if you're playing OTG and you're playing Jurassic Park, I think this is really going to fit. You may even be able to mod the bezel and put like a Jurassic Park bezel in there. You know, there's going to be options. And obviously there are people that like this look, that wanted this, because you're seeing it here. People have already pre-ordered and spent a lot of hard-earned money to get one of these. So they were also obviously very happy with this look, and they wanted dinosaurs. And just kind of trying to explain that to myself and to you guys, like, why would someone want this skin? I think there's a lot of reasons out there that I can think of. You know, one, you're just a dinosaur enthusiast. 2, you want to play Jurassic Park on this. Jurassic Park's your favorite pinball, you know, that you can think of. You want this. Another reason is you have kids and you want your kids to get involved into the pinball. Maybe they have the pinball micro, but they're going to grow out of that pinball micro here in a few years. And you want them to continue to play this or get into pinball. Maybe having the dinosaurs is right for the family because you know your kids like it. You know, there's probably a lot of reasons out there that people get this one. And that's probably why At Games offered it. And talking about Sam's, many had thought this was prime for Sam's because this is the one that's not utilizing like a major license. You know, Dinosaur Dynasties, this natural history is a license, but it's not a big pricey one like some of these other ones are. If Sam's or Costco gets them, it would be nice. No shipping then. That would save us $100 on the shipping. Also, if it gets delivered to our home and we have issues with it, or it's, you know, the box is all beat up and we just don't want to accept it, we can just return it to the store if it's at a Sam's. Calvin Wong saying, I got my ALP HD from Sam's Club. Good deal there when I bought it. And Thor Cade is here. Good to see you. Thor K Cade. I think K Auto is saying the $1,500 to $500 price includes tax. This is the way. And it used to be Thor KC, but now it's Thor K Cade. I like the new name. Chaotic BPR, he's saying, thank you, Thor. That's what I meant. Andy's Game Room says Dinosaur Dynasty doesn't look bad, actually. I was thinking that too. We can't really see the sides, but that topper, man, that topper really throws it off for me. I'm very unhappy with the way that topper came out. Now you could take that off, put a different one on, buy a aftermarket topper that may help the look a lot, like for me at least. Thumper Squid is saying Dinosaur Dynasty is my favorite table on my ALPHD fun game. So there may be those that just love the Dinosaur Dynasty game too, enough to the point where they wanted this one. Carlo is saying if they drop Dinosaur Dynasty at Sam's for $14.99 with the SSF kit installed, that would be pretty cool. Absolutely. That would be a banger right there. $1,500 with the SSF kit. Calvin Wong is saying they use the exact same artwork on topper as the back glass. Can you spell cheapo? You pointed it out there, Calvin. I didn't notice that till you just pointed it out. It is the same exact dinosaurs in the same position on the back box and the topper. You know, you got to change it up a little bit at games. Fago Thug 69 says it's a T-Rex and a who cares-osaurus. That's funny. Chaotic says sell this anywhere, wide appeal, 0 licensing cost. It's a total win for ad games. Absolutely. All right, so Star Trek. Now, out of these tables, of all these ones that we've looked at, Addams Family, Snoopy, Dinosaur Dynasty, Attack from Mars. Of these, the Star Trek's my favorite. If I could pick one at Games Pinball for them to make, it would be Star Wars. And seeing how long it's going to possibly take for us to get new skins, Star Wars may be way off. It may never happen. There's nothing to say that it would, so I can't expect it to happen. So the next best for me would be Star Trek because it fits that sci-fi theme that I want. I enjoy the movies, the Star Trek movies. I've watched some of the shows. And I think these tables for me would be the ones that I would want to play the most, are these sci-fi tables. We got an update on Star Trek. So if let's say today I was to go out and I was to buy a Legends 4K pinball, I would be buying the Star Trek. So when I saw this posting and I saw this news update, this was important to me. This is something that was going to be the product that I wanted to get, was Star Trek. So I was tuned in to what they had to say here, and they said, get ready to embark on a galactic adventure because your Legends 4K Star Trek pinball machine is cleared for launch. For those that have secured their Wave 1 pre-order and they ordered between November 23 to December 31, your payment links are beaming to your inbox today. That was, I think this is on Friday or Thursday. Your mission, check your email, complete purchase payment, embrace for an epic galactic adventure. I like what they did there, your mission, check your email, but the your mission, it's more of like Mission Impossible for me. I would have left the your mission part out. Everything else was great. And then it says, let's boldly flip where no one has flipped before. That's good too. I like their marketing strategy here and what they're saying in this. It's definitely fueling that FOMO for sure. And so for now, if you guys have pre-ordered before the end of last year, you should be getting or have already gotten your payment link. So that should mean that very soon we should start seeing these available without a pre-order. I think that's going to come up here next on this slide. This is a schedule. This is a roadmap. And it does say here for reference only and subject to change. So something about at games that I've noticed is that they do change things a lot. They'll say something and then they'll change it, a week or two later. Sometimes completely change things that they've said previously. So what they're doing here is they're covering themselves saying the schedule is for reference only and subject to change. But the way it looks right now, on the 10th, which is next week, on Wednesday, the new boot up screen is going to be available for the Peanuts pinball. So Addams Family is not going to get this this special boot up screen that is exclusive to the Addams Family cabinet, but Snoopy is going to get it. And then right after that, on the 11th, a day later, Attack from Mars is going to get it. And then on Friday, they're going to do some tournament announcement. That'll be pretty cool, but I assume you'd have to own the Act games in order to participate. 12, which the same day, the Legends HD Renovation Game Packs update. The 16th, the Legends 4K Pinball Net soft launch. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. 17th, new Zen Studio Star Trek Pinball Legends mini pack launch. So that will be when the Star Trek Pinball pack and those 4 games will be available. Or the 3, not sure about the next generation in that. On the 18th, it says pinball models are available in stock for immediate delivery. So here in less than 2 weeks, they're going to go out of the pre-order phase and they're going to go to the direct order where you just place the order and they ship it to you. 19th, surprise tournament, another tournament. 25th, Legends HD Renovation Game Packs launch. 26th, Legends 4K Retailer update. So not sure what that means. It says retailers update. So that may mean Sam's Club. Who knows, guys? Could be possible. Or we could get some huge surprise, like Best Buy is going to be carrying these or something, you know, or Walmart. You just don't know. So this is all exciting stuff. And then this is what I was looking at, and this is what stood out the most to me on this roadmap or this schedule for April, is the 26th through the 29th, Legends HD and Legends 4K April sale. So we saw in the last one that they only did $100 off, which was like free shipping. Hopefully they do something a little more incentivize us a little more than just $100. I hope that they give us like a sizable discount. Like let's say all 4KP pinball tables are $300 off. So instead of being $14.99, they're going to be $11.99 or $12.99 even. I would maybe do it. I don't think we're going to get as low as that initial week where it was $1,099. I don't think we'll ever get that price again. But I think it's possible, and I think this is what Ad Games should do to push those sales and drive them, is to do $11.99 or a $12.99 again, just for the 27th, 28th, and 29th. I think that would go very far for them, and it would drive a lot of sales and get a lot of these pushed out the door to people. I know I would certainly be a customer. If they do $100, it's probably not going to be enough. But if they do $200, it probably will be. If they do $300, it'll definitely be. So that's how close I am. And I hope that they do it. And then on the 30th, okay, so that's the answer to my question. On the 17th, you have the Star Trek Pinball, but then there's the Next Generation table, which will also come on Star Trek. That it says on the 30th, the new Zen Williams Pinball Star Trek, the Next Generation table, will be delivered to the FX Legends 4K CEP pre-order customers. So that doesn't indicate the Star Trek. That just indicates the FX Legends 4K, which is the Snoopy, the Star Trek, and the Dinosaur Dynasty, and the Attack from Mars. So the only one that's not a Legends 4K is the Addams Family. It's called a Legends Pinball 4K, not an FX Legends 4K. No, I take that back. So FX Legends is only on 3 of them. It's Snoopy, Star Trek, and Attack from Mars. So I don't know if the 30th means that Star Trek's going to get this table, or is it going to be available also to Snoopy, which is an FX Legends 4K, and Attack from Mars, which is an FX Legends 4K. Will you be able to get the Next Generation on those tables and not get them on the Addams Family and not get them on the Dinosaur Dynasty? So a lot of questions around that, and we'll probably get more clarification over the next few weeks. And as they said, subject to change. So any of this is possibly going to completely change. Tony C is saying wrong Star Trek, should have been the Next Generation. I agree completely. I was watching T. McCloskey, though. They were looking at some pictures of the original, the Next Generation Pinball, and it's not the greatest looking artwork. I understand the nostalgia and the wanting the authentic artwork. I completely agree with that. And I completely feel everyone that wants that look. But there is just like we were looking at some images of the Next Generation Pinball and looking at the artwork on it, getting this pulled up here for you guys. And you guys tell me, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the Star Trek that they're putting out, or would you rather have the original? Let me get the picture pulled up here for you guys. So this is the Next Generation right here. Now I'm seeing on the back box on the left and right side, I am seeing some images. The images we were looking at on Arcade Talk and Star Wars reviews last night did not have anything on the left and right side of the back box, and it didn't look very good. It was just like a black with some stars. This one, it is showing the USS Enterprise. It is showing Captain Picard on the left side. So that does look a lot better to me in this image. But you guys let me know. Would you rather have the authentic original artwork, or would you rather have what they're putting out, which is this? Now, something else to note, guys, is they have improved the look a little bit of the Star Trek. We noticed. So originally, on the right side behind all the characters, it was just all black. But it looks like now they've added some color there in the background to kind of match the back box. And you guys can see it pretty good in this image, how it kind of matches the back box. Now, one thing I wish they had done is continued that same kind of color in the background on the left side, but they did not. But I see why, because on the back box on the left side, it is white. And I'm trying to see, you can see there, it's just like a sky on the left side, and you can kind of see in that image there how they wanted it to match on the left side. So I think they've done a good job. And what we've been seeing is there's different artwork on the left and the right side on all these, it seems like, except for Attack from Mars, and maybe Dinosaur Dynasty. Maybe even Snoopy, now that I think about it. So let's see here. Snoopy looks like it's going to be the same on both sides. Attack from Mars, same on both sides. Dinosaur Dynasty is... Oh no, Dinosaur Dynasty is two different. So it looks like for the most part they're doing different artwork on both sides. I kind of feel like I wish they had done the same artwork on both sides for Star Trek. I would have actually preferred that a little bit more, but I think this looks okay. And if I had to choose between this and the Next Generation, I would almost still go with this. And I'm normally a fan of the original artwork, so it's kind of surprising that I would rather have this. But yeah, that's the way I want it. I like this look better. Thor KC says, at the same price point as the other models, this would be the last choice, but it makes sense for a retail impulse purchase. Carlo is saying the Next Generation is a beautiful table in 4K OTG. Deep Space Nine has massive base, and it's the best of the 3-pack table pack. So that's good to know. Marine 50 says, I don't get my payment link until the 15th with the added SSF kit. So he's waiting, looks like one more week. Chris says Adam's Family already has the intro splash screen. Okay, so it does have the Adam's Family splash screen. We don't yet, I think, know what the Snoopy one's going to look like. And we don't know what the Attack from Mars is going to look like. But supposedly, Adam's Family was going to get an updated splash screen, like its own menu and all that. That ended up getting canceled. There were some licensing issues, I believe, with the Addams Family, and now they're unable to make those changes that they had wanted to make. So it's what we're seeing that's happening for Attack from Mars and that's happening for Snoopy here very soon on this calendar on the 10th and the 11th, they were going to do that for Addams Family. And now that's not happening. But it does have its own boot up screen. So that is a good point, Chris, that you're bringing up. It does still have its own boot up screen. Marine 50 says San Francisco skyline is on the left side. And yeah, that's kind of where I wish they would have just stuck with the same artwork on both sides. But it's not bad. And then Jason's saying that's the Starfleet HQ from the J.J. Abrams movies. And Thor KC is saying, so far, Star Trek is the 4KP I would pick of the available options. Might be an unpopular opinion, but he likes it. So some other news here, guys, out of Ad Games is going to be these upcoming releases. We saw this some on the calendar we were looking at, the Star Trek Pinball, but there's also some May releases. It shows a May 15th release of the Next Generation. So it'll be 2 weeks after that you can actually buy it. Twilight Zone, $15, will be available on May 22nd. And then May 29th, Godzilla vs. Kong. Surprising they didn't try to get the Godzilla vs. Kong out now, being that the movie Godzilla x Kong is out, or Kong x Godzilla is out. So surprising they didn't try to push that out a little sooner, but it's officially going to come out here at the end of May. So I think with this, if we're to follow, what's coming out as far as the pinball games, that would probably be the most likely next skins are Twilight Zone and Godzilla versus Kong. But they may also be throwing us off with that. They may be doing that purposely to throw us off. There may be a pinball pack that is coming up that they certainly know is coming, but they didn't want to announce it because they didn't want to ruin the announcement of the skin. So there may be other pinball packs coming we don't know about, and that may be our next skin we get. But if they're just putting this out there, not doing much thought behind it, then that would tell us it's just Twilight Zone and Godzilla vs. Kong will be our next ones. Carlo saying Star Trek, since they updated it, yes, Thor, it's much better than it was. King Ed AV says, if I didn't get the Peanuts, I'd likely have gone with the Star Trek. And Carlo says Peanuts is very good looking machine. I think that one looks really good as well, Carlo. That Snoopy, I think, is an excellent looking one. The yellow just stands out. Very sleek. Very fun looking pinball table to have in your home. Absolutely. I agree with Carlo on that. But I'm still number one would be Star Trek for me. Oh no, my camera froze. Dang it. Dang it. Let's see here if I can fix that. I've been having problems with this screen freezing. We had it freeze on me when we had PD7. And I had made some changes here on my computer, moved some stuff around, hoping it wouldn't freeze again. I may have to get some new drivers or something, though, to fix this. But let's see here if I just unplug and then plug it back in, if I can get it back. Otherwise, I'm going to be on this small little webcam the rest of the stream. Let's see here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it back, though. Oh, there I am. I'm back. I'm back. All right. Just get it to focus. May not be focused, though. Let's see here. Let's try this. Let's try that. Go back. There we go. Focused. Cool. All right. So I may have to do some driver updates to fix that so I'm not freezing midstream like that. But we went quite a while before I did, hour and 21 minutes. So it's a minor issue that I'm still trying to work out since the flood with my computer. All right. So next, guys, we went through the pinball packs. I want to get now into this Legends 4KP. This was a big announcement this week. This was very big for any of the arcade enthusiasts out there. I know there's a lot of people out there that are a part of this community or a part of the home arcade community that aren't even big on pinball. They just like the arcades. So this is a big announcement for those, and for those that want to own both. They want to buy both the arcade and the pinball, or maybe someone's trying to decide between the arcade and the pinball. So this is really good update for those. They said, hey, Legends family, your excitement for the At Games Legends Ultimate 4KP has been incredible, and we share your enthusiasm. Originally, we were planning to launch pre-orders early this year, aiming to get those devices out to you by the end of the year. Our new improved plan is to still aim to deliver machines by the end of 2024, but to skip the pre-order phase and to offer it on our e-store when it's in stock. It will be a straight up first come, first serve deal and immediate turnaround. So what that tells me, it's going to be a straight up first come, first serve. You know, that's not normal lingo or something you would hear companies say. So when they say straight up first come, first serve, what that tells me is there's going to be a very low inventory of these starting out. That they're probably only going to make, and this is just speculation, but maybe 500 starting out. And you're going to have to be really quick and get on that website and buy it before it's out. And then it may be months again before there's more available. That's what that tells me. No more stress around the long wait to receive your machine because they're shipping them out immediately. This change is all about making sure things are smoother for you, and we hope you enjoy the new experience. Big thanks for your enthusiasm and patience. We're grateful to have such a passionate community by our side. So what they're doing here, guys, is they're skipping pre-orders altogether. They're eliminating the pre-orders for a brand new product, and they're just going to make it available on the website as soon as it, I guess, arrives, and they list it on the website. And you'll just have to be ready to go at that moment. And you have to be on the website and be able to purchase it. Now, how long will they be in stock? No one knows. It depends on the demand, how many they're going to have available. But it could be sold out in 30 minutes, could last days. You know, we just don't know yet. But I would anticipate, if you guys want one, to be ready to go as soon as that they're available. Now, they're saying they're going to be available coming Q4 of 2024. So that tells me October, November, December is when these will become available. So before Christmas is what it's looking like. Now, there's a lot of discussion on why they would do this. Why would they eliminate the pre-order and go direct to the sell of these off of their website and shipping them out directly immediately right when you order them? That's a hard one to try to decipher and understand. You would think on a product like this that's brand new, they've never released before, especially when there's been a lot of criticism behind it, as far as the way it looks, things like that, you would want to do the pre-order just to cover yourself and to make sure that you're not overextending the company and making too many of these. You're only producing as many as you get pre-orders. But they've not done that. So that leads me to believe maybe they have a lot of confidence in this. Or who knows? I mean, it's very hard, like I said, very hard to understand their reasoning behind this decision. And will they tell us? I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever learn why this decision was made. But I've not been a big pre-order person. If you guys know me, I don't think I've ever pre-ordered a home arcade product, and I don't want to rush out to do that. So, pre-order wasn't for me anyway. So this news doesn't impact me negatively at all. In fact, this is probably better for me because if I want to run out and I want to get the At Games 4K Legends Ultimate, I can actually have a chance at it without pre-ordering and be possibly one of the first ones out there to get one. Now, am I going to run out and want to get one of these day one? No, absolutely not. There's a couple of reasons why. One, we've talked a lot about the coin door. The coin door is just entirely too small. They're going to have to show us what their plan is for that coin door. Also, the artwork. There's just the lightning. I would want them to get rid of the lightning. I know that's the theme that they're going for in all their marketing material. I also did the background for them and lightning for this live stream for that reason. I know that's what they're going with, but I kind of wish they would eliminate the lightning look altogether. Just get rid of that. And I heard 19K Fox saying it tonight. Just make it black, more black. And I've been saying that for months now since this was announced, that I just wish it was all black, like this KI behind me. Make it look like the original KI1 cabinet. Also, don't like how it has KI1 on the left side, but then has KI2 on the right side. I don't like that either. I'd rather them pick one or the other. The marquee is okay because the marquee is one of those bit LCD marquees that is going to change with the games. The game deck looks great. I didn't bring up the slide with the picture of the game deck tonight, but if you guys ever get a chance to look at it, the artwork on the game deck looks pretty good. The bezel's okay if you just take the lightning bolts off there. And then I don't like the difference in color, how they're trying to blend the KI2 colors with the KI1 colors. I just don't think that looks very good. And these kind of things really stand out to me. I am a graphic designer. I'm very good with, trying to put all this together myself for things that I do. And I can see this right, immediately it's an eyesore for me to see the KI colors on the right side, and they're trying to do like a KI1 look on the left side. It just doesn't do it for me. And that's kind of been the common theme for everyone. And I think everyone is in agreement that I've heard that they're just not liking this look. And I expect them to make some changes before this officially releases. I think they have to. Like the coin door, they absolutely have to make a change. But the way they announce this, it almost looks like they're sticking with the look entirely. They're not going to make any changes. It's like they're holding firm that this is the way it's going to look. This is the way it's going to be released. But I just don't see how they can do that and be successful with the feedback that I've been hearing. Jason's saying the Godzilla table is based on the previous movie and not the current one. But yeah, coming out 6 weeks later than it should have. Yeah, they're two different movies, but they are the same franchise, and it's a sequel. So it would have gone with, and it would have helped drive some of those pinball sales, I think, and it would have been better to do it at the time of the release of the movie, but it may have not been possible. Feo Thug is saying, holy crap, that is ugly. And that's how I feel. It's way too busy, way too much going on. Less is more with this one. Papa Brad's Gaming says a real Killer Instinct 1 or 2 authentic arcade game has no purple on it. Just saying. Calvin Wong says, does it cost more than $2,000? No, I think this one, I don't know if we've gotten a price on this yet or not. I think we did actually. And I may be able to find that price for you. Possibly. Or if someone in the chat knows, put it out there, let everyone know. But I have some slides from when this thing was originally announced, and I think they gave us a price, I thought. I think it's $9.99 if I had to guess. Let's see. Nope, doesn't say a price on here for me. But I think it was $9.99 was the original set price that they were going for, so $1,000 exact. Here's a comparison of the Ultimate with the Ultimate 4K piece, so you guys can kind of see it's about the same exact height. The depth is a little less, surprisingly. The width, let me get this image off of here for you, 29.49. So it's a little less width as well. Just a fraction, though, not much. So pretty much the same exact size as the Legends Ultimate I have, and many of you have out there. The major changes are going to be the marquee area, where it's instead of that swan design, you've now got a more authentic looking arcade cabinet, American arcade cabinet look. The rest of it, though, kind of looks the same. It looks like the speakers, like how the speakers were kind of like almost up and down coming at you. Now they're going to be more like how an arcade cabinet should be, where they're above you. So those things are good. I like the form factor. What they've done with the form factor is great. It's just the artwork that needs the work in the coin door. Oh, King Ed, I'm thinking $12.99. Okay, so I was wrong, guys. Not $9.99, $12.99. Looks like we've got, I don't think it was $9.99. I think it was $12.99. And I think you're right. I was not sure on that. I was literally guessing $9.99. So I think you're right, King Ed, on that. Papa Brad's Gaming says people that pre-ordered the Addams Family got the best deal. Absolutely. You guys got a killer deal. And it's just too bad that a lot of us just couldn't get in at that time. It's just hard to make that decision within 1 week. And you just never have owned a Legends Pinball before. I know a lot of you have, so it was probably an easier decision. Thor KC, this has basically no appeal to me for him. Fan Thug is doing the throw up emojis. Jason saying you can't make your pinball start to look accurate and get away from the multicade look and not try to do it on the machine itself. It looks like an old generation with just a new shape. Talk about the 16x9. It always looks like a multicade somewhat, but the side art bezel and the kick plate can look so much better. Yeah, that was one thing about the 16x9 screen for the Legends Ultimate that kind of bothered me before I had purchased it. But now that I own it, it doesn't really bother me so much. I know with like the coin ops games and things, they do really good with the bezels to kind of draw your attention away from the fact that it is 16x9. So it bothered me less than I thought it would after owning it. So now going into the new one, it's not something I really think of too much. But I know for a lot of you out there, you want that 4x3 aspect ratio. I really appreciate that on my iArcade. There's a lot of games I'll play on the iArcade over that games because of that. No official price has yet been said, is what Papa Brad's Gaming is saying. Yeah, and then again, all subject to change. Ad Games is constantly making changes, so anything they do say could change later. Jason, the community tossed around $12.99, $9.99, $7.99, but it's still to be determined. So yeah, here's a better shot, guys, if you guys want to get a better look of these renders. We still have not seen one in like an actual image of one yet. So it'll be interesting to see that. Sometimes these look a little better than the renders when you see an actual image. I know we've been seeing that on the pinballs. These are looking way better in person, I think, than what we're seeing on these renders. You just can't compare the two when you see this, and then we go and we look at this with the lit up topper, and you see the screens lit up, and it looks way better. So kind of pump the brakes a little bit on this. I mean, granted, we haven't seen it yet. This is still renders. But also something else I wanted to point out, and I know this has been quite a bit of a topic as well, is the size of the characters on each side. So it looks like Spinal has the sword way above him. So then the sword brings it up almost to the top of the screen. But then on the right side, you have Orchid, and she's got her arms way down here. So then her head cuts off under the game deck, and it just doesn't look proportioned. I mean, the characters are proportioned, but the look of it isn't proportioned because of how high that sword is up on the left side. So that's why I think you get rid of Orchid altogether and you just go with Spinal on each side, or you go with Orchid on each side. I think that's the answer visually for me. Jason's saying, I'm going to update mine, but I'd really like to not have to immediately replace all the side art because the color scheme makes me puke. That's how I feel. I mean, it's like, it'd almost be better if they just offered like an all black one and just say you do with it what you want. That would be nice. All right, guys. So we are going to get in one last subject tonight. This was not on the thumbnail, but it is something I want to talk about is New Wave toys. I love my New Wave toys. Collecting the new Coke, potentially making that a high cost or high profitable collectible for me one day, maybe. And then the Ghost and Goblins is actually getting a lot of playtime here in Biggie D's Arcade. It's something I visually like to look at too, just on the side while I'm playing my other arcades. So I'm all about New Wave toys and what they're doing. I wasn't before I got them. I was actually kind of reluctant to get into New Wave toys because I was like, am I really going to like these little tiny arcades? Are they going to do it for me? And after owning them, they do. I actually really like these things. So we've been following the Berserk and the Frenzy the last couple of weeks, talking about these because we knew that they were coming, and they have officially shipped and people have received theirs now. So I've been seeing a lot of videos, lots of reviews on these. And, you know, going into it, I thought the Berserk was going to be the one I wanted. And, you know, I didn't know if that Survivor Series Frenzy was going to be one that I liked. I was kind of like turned off by it actually when I heard about it. Thought it was kind of a cool idea, but I didn't think it would be very successful. And I didn't think it would be anything I would personally be interested in. But then I started seeing these getting released and I started seeing the reviews and watching these videos. And actually the Frenzy is a really cool looking cabinet. They've done a really good job and it is all beat up, but they've done it and it's like a work of art in the way that they've done it. And one of the coolest features with the Survivor Series that I like the most is the flicker setting on the marquee, where you can actually set it to where that marquee will just flash and flicker like what a real marquee would look like if it were going out. And you have the option to turn it on or off, so you could have it on full all the time, or you could have it flicker. So I do like that option. And so I'm in the market to get one of these. But again, I don't pre-order. So, you know, I wasn't one of the first to get one of these. I'm in line to get one when they become available on the website. And something I noticed is they've raised the price. They've raised the price quite a bit. These are going to be $199.99, so $200. Pretty pricey. These are going up. I know we have inflation. I know everything's more expensive now. Gas, food, everything. So I guess these products and these toys are going to go along and they're going to raise their price as well. And I don't know the reason why. Maybe it is inflation, or maybe these are higher quality machines. Maybe the parts that they sourced are more, or maybe just going forward, New Wave Toys is going to charge more. Don't know the answer to that question yet. But what I do know is I know that they're $200 now. And that's a lot to spend. But, you know, I spent $100 on these wall marquees, and I really appreciate and like these. Like this Marvel versus Capcom right above my head. I love this now. That was $100. So it was pretty pricey. I also got the X-Men versus Street Fighter. That was $100. So that's $200 just between the two wall marquees that I have. So when I do the math and sorry guys, sorry. Didn't mean to go that quick. So just looking at these, $200 isn't that much really. I'll probably go out as soon as these become available and purchase one. And I'm going to get the Frenzy now between the two. If I have the option between Berserk and Frenzy, I'll probably go ahead and purchase Frenzy. And I'm thinking these are going to become available on the website here like this week, like maybe as soon as tomorrow. I don't have any inside information to tell you guys that. That's just me doing my own guessing for my own purpose because I want to purchase one of these. I'm just going to be ready to go every morning on New Wave Toys website looking to see if they're available. Also checking the Facebook group, checking the Reddit group to see if there's any information out there so I can be ready to go when these become available. Because I definitely want to get my hands on Frenzy. If Frenzy is sold out by the time I get to the website, I'll buy Berserk. But worst case, I get there and they're both sold out and I miss out. That would be a huge bummer. So the raise in price isn't going to prevent me from buying these. We're still talking, less than $200 for an arcade, which is still my sweet spot. Anything under $300 is I can just kind of go out and buy it. I don't have to put too much thought, too much consideration in a $200 or $300 purchase. So this is definitely up my alley and, on my radar for future purchases coming up like in the next few days for me. Thor KC says maybe wedged between other cabs so you can't see the side art. The front is kind of generic enough to work with, okay with different game running. Yeah, he's talking about if you sandwich these cabinets together and you can't see the side art, maybe that Ag Games Legends 4K would not look so bad. And that would help. Jason's saying, at first, I thought he said the Walmart keys and not the Walmart keys. Well, hey, I did buy them at Walmart. So they are Walmart keys. Jason said, I was like, that's one expensive set of keys. Thor KC says they will probably send an email letting you know when they will drop and give you a VIP discount code. Yeah, I do always check my email and I get those emails from them. So I'll be looking there as well. Good idea. Check your email, guys, if you're trying to get in on one of these and haven't already pre-ordered. Calvin Wong saying Target commercial. Open. New Wave Toys. I want the Berserk now. Yeah, these are cool little cabinets right here. I was surprised to hear Retro Ralph say when we had him on that he wasn't looking forward to the Berserker Frenzy. I guess there's some out there that just aren't into these older 80s classic arcade games. I am. I really like these older 80s classic arcade games. They're hard to explain why I like them so much, but there's something visually that these older games are giving me. And there's a feeling that they give me when I get a high score on the leaderboard that I don't get when I play a 90s arcade game. And I don't know how to explain it. But if you guys are hearing what I'm saying and feeling what I'm saying, then you probably like these classic 80s arcade games like I do. But here it is, listed on the website. You can sign up now for the newsletter. I've already done that, so I'll be the first to get notified when it becomes available. No reviews yet on the website. And this would be one that I would purchase. So the Ghost and Goblins, New Wave Toys sent out to me for review. And I did a review on it. I didn't have to pay for that one. They had also sent out to me the new Coke for a giveaway. Well, instead of giving away the new Coke, I bought a Ghost and Goblins and gave that away in place of it. But this one, I would actually be spending my hard-earned money on. I would go out and buy it, and I would be doing a review on it. And I hope that I can get my hands on one. Looking at the side here, how it looks like someone has spilled a drink on the left side in the lower left. It's got scratches all over the left side panel. It looks really cool. On the front, you've got like some scuff marks here on the kick plate from like people's shoes and stuff. You've got a little chip in the game deck there on the edge. And they've had to cover up the Stern logo, and they put Atari on there. And that's been a kind of a sticking point for a lot of people, is that has Atari on there. And even if you change the Atari logo on the cabinet, the game still has Atari on the splash screen when it loads up. So that's something you're going to have to live with. On the right side, you can see how just looks all beat up. Looks like someone spilled something, maybe some grease on the right side there by the game deck. Excellent job. Excellent job. You got that PCB action now where you can pull the PCB in and out of it. It's got the coin door, but what's cool is this is a different type of coin door. So it's like Different than the Ghost and Goblins. It's more of the old school looking coin door. Just the detail they go into on these, it's incredible. 80s all the way, baby, is what Jason's saying. Thor KC says, controls on my Frenzy Replicate aren't working right now. I need to retest with a different controller. Interesting. So Thor KC already has his. And he's saying that the controls on his aren't working. Huh. And controllers, not the controls on the game deck, but doing an external controller. And that's bothersome because that is something I like about the Ghost and Goblins is plugging in an external controller and playing it that way. Because it's really hard to get a high score without having the controller. Carlo says, yes, thanks, Biggie D, for the Ghost and Goblins. If you guys remember when I gave that away, Carlo, of all people, won that, and he's an owner of it now. Congratulations. Happy you like it, Carlo. I love mine. When I turned it on today, actually, I was just staring at that little marquee and just thinking about how cool that little tiny marquee is on the Ghost and Goblins. It's sold out now, so we can't even... Okay, we can bring up the picture at least. But it just looks really good. Fantastic cabinet. Kevgret says you can't be buying these to play the games. It's arguably the worst way to play these versions. Yeah, like when I'm playing Ghost and Goblins, I'm playing it on my Final Fight, and then I've got the Ghost and Goblins sitting on a stand right to the right of it, eye level. So when I have my eye off the game, I've got it on it, and it gives me that visual feeling of playing a dedicated cab without having to buy a 3/4 or larger scale cabinet. Goofyfoot saying 80s are the true score chasers. Yes, so true. Like that's, I think, trying to explain why I like these 80s arcade games so much. And that's a lot of it is the score chasing factor and value. When you got into the 90s, the way you were competitive was different, right? It was 1 versus 1, or, there were just different ways to compete on the arcade games, where back in the 80s, it was just score chasing. That's all there was. And that was the focus. And that's what I think differentiates the 80s from all these other arcades and why you can't ever replicate that. Thor KC is saying, I saw a picture on Facebook of a real Frenzy machine in an arcade, and the kickplate looked exactly like the Replicade, like so much that I wonder if that was a model for real. Like, did they take a real cabinet that was in really bad shape and just do that exact look? And that's what it appears like. Wait, Ghost and Goblins was $159 and now they're $199. Yes, they went up $40. So it was a sizable increase in price when they went to the Frenzy and the Berserk. And that just started on this line, these two new ones. So not sure yet. They haven't told us why they're raising prices. I have a theory on that. I think it's the inflation. They're out of California. California prices are insane right now. Gas, shipping costs, anything, supplies, all the things that they use day to day in their business, prices are going up. So that ends up coming back to us as the consumer in the long run. And I think that's what's happening. We don't know that, but I think that's what's happening. I would actually like to get Shiloh on as a guest. I've been trying to think of what's a big time guest I can get on the show here coming up. And I was thinking that I want to get Shiloh on as a special guest. I've met Shiloh in person during the Cleveland Gaming Classic and even went to the Airbnb house and partied with them after. He's a really cool guy. And we're friends on Facebook now. So I may invite him on the channel, and I hope he accepts. So you guys tune into that hopefully here soon. And maybe we can get some more answers on Ghost and Goblins and why it was $159. And now why is Frenzy and Berserk $199? Maybe he can explain that to us and make us feel more confident in spending the $200. Maybe there's something within the machine that we're paying for that raise those prices. Kevgret says that's exactly a 25% increase. What a coincidence. Zoltar doubled. Talking about Zoltar also got delayed again. They are, from what I'm hearing, I never pre-ordered Zoltar, But from what I'm hearing, they're allowing people out of that now. If you want to get a refund, you can get completely out of it. But if you want to continue to wait, they're delaying Zoltar again because of PCB issues. But again, that's why I never pre-order, because there's just too many factors, too many things that come up logistical wise to delay and maybe cancel. And that's why I just don't want to pre-order. But I know pre-ordering is important to the company because that's what allows them to mass produce these things and get the money up front that they need to produce. So I understand why they do it. Fago Thug 69 says, I exclusively play all my video games on a 1.5 inch screen. And Kev Gratz saying the inflation isn't 25%. True. Maybe some of that is inflation. And then we've got other factors involved as well. Carl O's got an ALU for $199. I think I got mine for $230 or $260. I can't remember the exact price, but Carl O told me, get on eBay and buy that ALU from VIP Outlet. And man, that was one of the best deals I ever got on my At Games Legends Ultimate. Thanks to Carl O. Jason saying Zoltar was $79.99. Now it's $149.99, so doubled in price. Jeez. Well, guys, that's, I guess, going to wrap up this stream. I mean, we've talked Arcade One Up, and we've talked mainly about the X-Men 97 that'll be coming out at the end of this month. Golden Tee Deluxe, which we got the FCC filing on, so that's officially going to come out. But also speculating on what potential cabinet could we get by the end of this year. And looking at our poll results, the most likely is going to be Robotron 2084, because Arcade One Up, if they're smart, they're going to make the cabinets that we want to buy. So that I'm going to go with my gut and say that Arcade One Up is going to make what they think we want to buy, and that's Robotron 2084. Attack from Mars Pinball, that had shipped last week and been received, as well as the Dinosaur Dynasty. Starting next week, we're going to start seeing the Star Trek. But then we also have potential for a new skin coming up at the end of the month. Speculation here, guys, I think we're going to get a new skin between the 26th, 28th of April. During that 4K sale, I think they're going to announce another skin, maybe possibly two. And best guess would be that Twilight Zone, that Godzilla versus Kong. But again, they could be throwing us off. They could be wanting us to think that so they can surprise us with something new, like something crazy like Indiana Jones or Star Wars. Something mind-blowing like that could happen. And then, At Games Legends 4KP, got the news on that. No pre-orders. Order that Q4 of 2024. It'll be on the website. And then the last note I had here was just that MK Spectate. Just a little disappointed in Arcade One Up that they had told us it would be available in early 2024 or Q1 2024. We're now getting towards mid-April and we still don't have a Spectate update for Mortal Kombat. And we have no word from Arcade One Up. That is another thing I kind of want to end this stream with, is the communication has ended completely from Arcade One Up. We get no communication out of them anymore. Even though they're releasing new products now, X-Men 97, Golden Tee Deluxe, there's zero communication from Arcade One Up. And from Cyrus, and no questions are getting answered. So is this the new norm? Is this how we're going to learn about their new products, is through Wayfair and Nebraska Furniture Mart? You know, they do sell to the retailer. The retailer sells to us. We've been seeing that for months, for years possibly, of how Arcade One Up operates. They care about the retailer, and they're going to do what the retailer wants. So maybe that's the new norm now. They communicate to them, and then the retailer communicates to us what's going to come. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. If you guys are staying up late tonight, or you're on the West Coast like me, you're going to probably be up for a couple more hours. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Hope you guys have a good start to your week tomorrow morning on Monday morning. Make it a really good week, guys. And let's make that money so we can buy more of these toys that we talk about and enjoy discussing. And I will see everyone in the next live stream. This has been a good one. We're going to have a guest next week. I don't know yet who it's going to be. I did give you guys a clue on who I want to get on as a guest, and we'll see who we get. But you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. I'll talk to everyone later. Bye-bye.